Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Resident Evil. In the last part, we started off the game and found out a lot of people are dead around here. And now we're going to continue on. With a puppy dog! An undead puppy dog, as we can probably tell by now. Though it's around here, I actually do like to show off that the fact that the knife is actually a pretty effective weapon if you can use it right. But I won't be using it for much longer. When the sun sets in the west and the moon rises in the east, the stars will begin and will glow in the sky and the wind will blow on the ground. Then the gate of new life will open. That star crest we got at the end of the last part is used here. You don't have to place it yourself, though. It's automatically placed in the right place. Thankfully. Actually, is it? Maybe it's the order of the order you put them in. I'm not sure. Never tried. Also, I should mention, don't go all hog wild with your ammo, because there is a finite amount of it. The only game that has infinite ammo, technically speaking, are the games 4 and onwards. Anyway, now we're going to go into here, because we can unlock this door now, and come into one of the rooms I think of immediately when I play this game, actually. It's also here I start to dodge the zombies, because that's a much more effective method of dealing with them, just going around them so you don't have to waste the ammo. For some reason, whenever I think of Resident Evil 1, I think of that stairwell right there. I don't know why, but I do. Anyway, and here we get the first thing in the entire game, a safe room. Which has a chemical in it that we want to grab, but I can't carry any more items. So it's here I'm going to show off the fact that you can actually combine herbs. When you combine 2 green herbs, you get one item that has the effectiveness of both. There's a botany book you can find not too far in the future, actually, that will tell you pretty much the basic combos. And here we get our infinite storage chest, which already has 2 ammo clips in it for some reason. This is where you store stuff due to your limited inventory. And it's honestly convenient because all locations of this thing are the exact same. They all link together. In terms of what I need at this point, I only need this stuff, and I'd rather like to have that extra ammo because bullets are worthy, or not worthy, valuable, that's the word in this game. I'll be handling inventory management a bit weirdly whenever we get to another box from here on, though. You'll see what I mean in about 6, 7, 8 minutes. Also, I like how Jill and Chris directly look at the floor, not the floor, the stairs when they're walking. Actually, here's a fun fact. I mentioned it in a call-out, or not a call-out, in a title clip in the last part, when I was showing the uncensored stuff, but, this game actually has a DS version by the name of Deadly Science, which actually added a rebirth mode, which had some new enemies to it. I'll get more into that when we get later in the game. But the cool thing is, first off, the knife was mapped to the, I think it was the L button, so you always had it and didn't have to take up inventory space, so that was handy. But also, you could actually skip the loading door animations, which could shave off a good 20 to 30 minutes off your time, if I recall. So that was nice and handy.
Barry!
Jill, what's going on? Any clues?
No, but something's wrong with this house.
No.
Whoa! This hall is dangerous. Maybe it's better to secure our escape route first. There must be a back door somewhere. Let's try to find it first, shall we?
Okay, let's separate again.
Just a moment. I found something.
What is it?
It's a weapon. It's really powerful, especially against living things. Better take it with you.
But how about you, Barry?
I have this.
Thank you. I'll take this then.
Oh, Barry, you idiot! This is ammo, not a weapon! You know, technically speaking, none of the enemies we're fighting are living, so is it really that effective? Actually, the acid rounds, when we are able to use them, is a really effective weapon. And he's not kidding when he says that he has that. The weapon he's using, I forget the exact name of it, but it's a Magnum. And in the Resident Evil series, Magnums are pretty much instant kill weapons. Yowza. Oh, well, hello there. I'ma take your bazooka. This is the grenade launcher, essentially. It's Forrest. He's been pecked to death by crows. And speaking of which, run. Fun fact, in the arrange mode that the DualShock version of Resident Evil 1 would add, under certain conditions, Forrest could actually come back to life as a zombie. And in the GameCube remake, they had his specific zombie got a really cool but annoying difficulty mode named One Dangerous Zombie, I believe. Where essentially, Forrest is pretty much a completely indestructible zombie. He gets up and he's constantly stalking you throughout the halls. He'll show up at random points, and it's really annoying. Because if he gets damaged by anything, and I mean anything, the artillery he's armed with explodes, blowing up the room you're in and possibly the rest of the mansion. Thus causing a game over. GameCube Remake had some cool stuff, but some annoying stuff at the same time. Anyway, now we're in this room again, above the dining hall, actually. And we want to push this statue. Also, if you have the knife here still, you can actually knife these guys through the statues. That's pretty handy. And I think these kinds of zombies can actually puke on you. I know ones in a certain room later can, but I forget if this is where they start showing up. Anyway, now we want to push this little statue... let's say down this cliff. Or ledge. I guess that landed on Barry's head. Oh well. Now, the weird thing that DualShock Director's Cut did, aside from uncensor the music, uncensor the scenes, or at least it was supposed to, the reason that it didn't, because the thing is, Director's Cut is supposed to have the uncensored stuff in it, the stuff that I showed you in the last part. But due to a localization mistake, it doesn't, and that's why the PC version and DS version have the stuff, but this doesn't. Anyway, as I was saying, the weird thing that Director's Cut did is that it actually changed the soundtrack entirely, I believe. Because I recall the original version having a lot more synthesizer-heavy music. If anyone could confirm that for me in the comments, please, because I've actually only ever played Director's Cut. The original version of Resident Evil 1 is the only version I've actually never played. And even then, I'm not sure if that was Japan only or not. Anyway, it's here we get introduced to my favorite song in the game, the Safe Room theme. Which is also the introduction song, which also reminds me a lot of aquatic ambience from Donkey Kong Country. Anyway, it's here I changed the way I'm doing the inventory loadouts. I'm gonna cut to the point where I have my finalized inventory. That way you guys can follow around easily and you don't have to see me messing around with the box. Also, the shotgun. We're finally using it now because we're finally gonna start getting ammo for it around here. But the thing I would like to warn you about using it, or not warn you, is advise you with it, is always, the thing is, when you're aiming, which you do by holding R1, by the way, and you press X to fire, when you're aiming the shotgun, always aim up by pressing up on the D-pad, because then you get a headshot on the zombie, they die on one hit. Anyway, in here we want to use that chemical on this thing that we got from a couple rooms back. If you didn't do that, those vines would have smacked you and caused some damage. And here, I completely missed that. I was actually looking at my notes for a second there, and I completely missed that little transition there. But the thing is, in this room, we got a couple of good things, actually. You got 2 red herbs and 4 green herbs, which you can mix to make some good stuff. Earlier, I could have gotten a botany book file, which pretty much states what all the herbs do. I've already stated that green herbs heal you. Red herbs, I believe, triple the effect. I know they do in later Resident Evil games. I forget if they do in this one. And then there's also the blue herbs, which cure poison, but poison isn't something we'll be encountering for a while. Also, the menu sounds for this game are really weird and high-tech sounding. This is the only game that does that. And it's honestly kind of jarring. Because the game is really atmospheric, I'll give it that. The GameCube remake would really add to that, especially, in my opinion, considering they changed the lighting system and a lot of the sound effects. But this still did pretty well for the PlayStation. Mind you, it's really the first of its kind, at least in this way. Anyway, we got a mansion key. The one thing I haven't gone over with items is that the check command, which shows you the 3D model. You can rotate and actually find out its true name, the armor key. Anyway, as I was saying, this is technically the first of its kind, but it's also not. You see, the thing is, this was originally going to be a remake of a Famicom game, I believe, by the name of Sweet Home, which was a horror RPG, if I recall. I've only ever played the game once and seen it in completion thanks to a certain dead crustacean. But, yeah. That's a fun fact for you. Okay, get off me, please. Anyway, that's the headshot. That's really satisfying. Sadly, Code Veronica wouldn't have that for some reason, but all other Resident Evils for the most part do. Though I believe that's actually censored in the American version, Japanese versions. In fact, the Japanese versions often have more censoring than the American. In the series, at least. And another ammo clip. The handgun ammo clips are very useful, considering the handgun is probably the thing I'm going to be using the most next to the shotgun. Anyway, what have we got in here? Are you supposed to be scary? Because you're not. Anyway, let's read this thing. The Keeper's Diary. At night we played poker with Scott the Guard, Alias, and Steve the Researcher. Steve was really lucky, but I think he was cheating. What a scumbag. Today, a high-ranking researcher asked me to take care of a new monster. It looks like a gorilla without any skin. They told me to feed them live food. When I threw in a pig, they were playing with it, tearing off the pig's legs and pulling the guts out before they actually ate it. Around 5 this morning, Scott came in and woke me up suddenly. He was wearing a spacesuit, protection suit that looked like a spacesuit. He told me to put one on as well. Apparently there was an accident in the basement lab, and it's no wonder. Those researchers never rest, even at night. I've been wearing this annoying spacesuit since yesterday, and my skin's growing musty and feels very itchy. By way of revenge, I didn't feed those dogs today. Now I feel better. I went to the medical room because my back was all swollen and feels itchy. They put a big bandage on my back, and the doctor told me I didn't need to wear the spacesuit anymore. Guess I could sleep well tonight. When I woke up this morning, I found a little blister on my foot, and it was annoying, and I ended up dragging my foot as I went into the dog's pen. They've been quiet since morning, which is very unusual. I found that some of them had actually escaped. I'll be in real trouble if the higher-ups found out. Even though I didn't feel well, I decided to go see Nancy. It's my first day off in a long time, but I was stopped by a guard on the way out. They say the company's ordered that no one leaves the grounds. I can't even make a phone call. What kind of joke is this? I heard a researcher who tried to escape last night was shot. My entire body feels burning and itchy at night, and when I was scratching my arm, a lump of rotten flesh fell off. What the hell is happening to me? Fever gone, but itchy. Hungry and eat doggy food. Itchy, itchy, Scott came. Ugly face who killed him. Tasty. Itchy. Tasty. Well, that's creepy. And also a lab. Apparently there's a lab here, so that means there's more going on here than we realize. And some shotgun shells. Hello, my love. And that's also, the only reason I read that file out loud is because it's one of the most famous files in the series. To the point where I think they bring it in almost word for word in the remake. A lot of the notes and files they actually reworded to make it better or more well translated, I suppose. As far as I can recall, but I think that's one of the only ones that's pretty much word for word the same. And that place looks familiar, but we're not done in this room yet. That was me getting a bit ahead of myself there. Also, remember that room there to the right, that little corridor I didn't go down to the right, because we'll be back there in a while. Anyway, now we're going to want to head into this room. This is the armory. All these rooms have names, so I just refer to them by their color generally. There's not much in here, honestly. There's the broken shotgun, which you could use to get this shotgun if you didn't do the Barry thing earlier, and if you're playing as Chris, you need to do that. But all that's really in here is a handgun ammo clip and a shotgun shell case, which you can get by using the lockpick in this. Oh, I should note, each character has an exclusive item. Jill has the lockpick, Chris has a lighter, which allows him to get the second floor map much more quickly. Instead of the lockpick, however, Chris has small keys, which you need to keep in your inventory as well, and that's really annoying. Hence why the Chris playthrough will be interesting when I eventually get to that in the remake. Though honestly, he has the easier time in the remake due to certain things, including headshot rates. And I'm at caution, so that means use some herbs. By the time, if you get to caution, especially orange or red caution, or orange caution, yeah, use your herbs if you have any on you. I have one for the most part because I like to store mine for later, but yeah. And here's what my new inventory is like. General rule of thumb is that keep any keys you find on you for the most part, unless they're done with use. If you've beaten the game already, in which case while you're watching this, unless you just love hearing my sexy, sexy voice, obviously, bring out the closet key around now, which is an item you get for beating the game. Anyway, now we're going to head back in this direction. And if you were paying attention earlier, this room looks rather familiar. This is the room where we encountered our first zombie. And I checked out this hallway down here earlier. Now we're finally going to explore it over here. Namely, the red door. Welcome to the piano bar, one of, actually, my favorite rooms in the game. very quick and easy thing to do in here. There's a bookshelf over here to the right. We want to push and grab the item behind it. Sorry, my throat's going a bit dry right now. This is some music notes. We want to use these in front of the piano here to play one of my favorite piano songs of all time, actually. If you haven't heard that song in full, look it up. It's a really nice listen. Now, if you're playing as Chris, you need to have another character do that for you because he can't read music. And here we get the gold emblem. Looks like our normal emblem. And then the door shuts us in, game over. No, if you didn't have the normal emblem on you, you actually need to put the gold emblem back in and then go get it. This is why you needed the emblem that we got last part. So now we have another piece of another puzzle. Actually, what Chris has to do essentially is have his equivalent to Barry, Rebecca, play the music because he can't read it for shit, obviously, as I just stated. But the big thing is, she needs time to practice on the piano, so you need to wander around a bit and do some other stuff first, I believe. I think it's timer-based. Anyway, let's use that normal emblem we got here. I don't know why I stayed silent for that. But apparently you can tell that it's made out of gold for some reason, and in doing so we can check in here and get the next mansion key. And upon further investigation, this in fact is the shield key. Very useful. However, you might remember earlier in the part, we pushed down a statue into here, and you can actually see it right there on the left side of the screen, or right side of the screen, depending on where you are. And upon doing so, or for doing so, we can investigate what we found, what was dropped from it rather, the blue gem, which will come into use later, or jewel. But with that, I'm gonna need to end this off here. Thank you guys for watching, and in part 3 we'll be continuing on here in the mansion, and seeing what the hell else we can find in it. See you guys then!